The values system, what values are, living in your highest values, and creating a fulfilled life. Confusion and misdirection around values is one of the biggest distortions in the personal development space. And I was in this conventional trap for a while myself, until just recently when I discovered the resources that I'm about to present to you. Many people believe they know their values, but they are actually listing aspirations, ideals, or moral preferences, not what truly organizes their behavior, and not what truly is genuinely built in for them specifically, uniquely. What is often missed about values is how values actually function within the context of the brain. The values system is how the brain constantly categorizes experiences. At the level of the brain, the values system performs three main functions: meaning creation, category assignment, and value prioritization. Meaning creation is determined by what counts as meaningful to you. Category assignment is done by sorting experiences into types of categories of value. Value prioritization is when the brain determines the importance of that value category, which informs your brain what to pursue or ignore. Values come from voids or needs at a given time. Values come from perceived voids. You have the things that you have now because of the perceived lack of something that you may have experienced. That lack created a void, a need in you to fulfill. And as a result, your brain created a value based on this void or need. For example, you may have had the need for growth in your life. So your brain may have created a value based on learning or mastery of knowledge, study, or personal development. It determined that this is valuable to you for your need for growth. And so it categorized experiences as meaningful if they were related to this value and considered others less important. Your values are unique to you, and your mind is programmed to fulfill your values according to a particular hierarchy, from the most important to the least important. Your brain will drive you to allocate resources in order of your values, choosing and giving more time, energy, focus, and discipline to the first four highest values. I learned about this practical value system from someone by the name of Monique Ayon, and I'm going to quote her from one of her interviews. You came into this life with an amazing gift, and you are unique. These gifts emerge from all these experiences you had, and also from the house you were born into, and from the heritage you took, and have from your family. And all these create a specific puzzle of things that become important to your brain, your mind. And you will have these as values. And this means, because they are unique, you have a very important place in this universe, which is only yours to fulfill, and nobody can take that place. What values are and what they are not. Values are demonstrated in your life as something you are actually doing. They can be a high priority value or a low priority value. You prioritize your highest values spontaneously and sustain them over time. You are inspired by these activities related to your highest values. And with your lower values, you might find yourself having to do them, but they are not truly you at your core. Values are not what we often think of as social idealisms like fairness or loyalty. And they are not what you would like to prioritize or wish to do. And they are not what others expect you to do or what you should do. And they are not giving up on ourselves, for example, as a notion of sacrifice, and putting someone else's value above ours. Your mind and your body will support you when you live according to your highest values. When you are living in your lower values, your brain and your body may hinder you. Your ability to achieve your goals will be based on whether they are aligned with your highest values. Now, everything I've talked about so far is information I learned mainly from one person, Monica Yon. I reference her in this article and several times in other articles of mine because she's extraordinary in terms of delivering this important notion of practical values that is a mechanism of the brain, and how that actually is an instrument of how we can achieve our potential. However, as I was learning about this value system and about identity, I got into NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, by a series of synchronicities, actually. And I stumbled on a guy by the name of Damon Cart. And he teaches the work of Steve Andreas, a very unique NLP. And in Damon's teachings, I discovered something called the self-concept, which involves scope and category. And oddly enough, it linked to what I was learning about from Monica Yon around the value system. So I wanted to put together scope, category, and self-concept as a continuation of how the brain functions to allow us to fulfill our greatest potential. Based on these ideas of scope, category, and self-concept, your brain collects information that you put your attention and energy on as something called, quote, content. It structures this content into meaning and then files it into categories based on this meaning. So your brain essentially gives a category to the information you pay attention to, i.e. the content, by way of giving meaning to it, i.e. structure. And how you feel about that categorization that you file information under is the way you have generalized that experience. Another way to say category in this context is value. Value can also be synonymous with intent or intention in this context as well. Whatever that experience means to you, i.e. the intention, the meaning is the intention, is how you file it under a particular category in your mind, a value. And you have a hierarchy of values, some more important, some less important, as I've mentioned. And what's furthermore interesting is the accumulation of all generalizations that you make about your experiences relative to yourself and your values becomes the self-concept or your identity. And so a value is a generalization about an experience that's important to you. It becomes a mental measuring stick. A high priority value is what your nervous system spontaneously prioritizes. It is what your behavior consistently demonstrates is important. It's what we pay attention to. It's what we perceive as meaningful. It's what we act on effortlessly and sometimes spontaneously without having to put much effort into taking action. It is the driver of motivation and decisions. It determines how we classify benefits versus drawbacks. It's how we assign and interpret events, therefore formulate the nature of our perception. They shape the polarity interpretation of reality and determine which side of the polarity we emphasize. Living in your highest values. Your highest values are what truly fulfills you, motivates you, and where your true potential lives. In your highest values, you can take actions repeatedly, persistently, and you are inspired to do so without any external means for motivation. The motivation is internal. It's alignment with the core of who you really are. You spontaneously prioritize actions related to your highest values, and you can sustain them over time. From this place, you live in alignment with your true core of who you really are, because everything you do comes from an internal drive to satisfy who you really are. There is a great deal of satisfaction or fulfillment in living from your highest values. It functions as an incredible internal compass that fulfills you in everything that you do. It nourishes you from the inside. It's our unique purpose in life to understand and fulfill our life through our highest values. Whatever is highest in your values, you are spontaneously driven to take action on. You feel, in a sense, called to do that. Your identity, your purpose, your expertise revolves around your highest values. When we live by our highest values, we increase the probability of living authentically, and we have the greatest potential to know who we are. Your identity revolves around what you value the most. But here's the kicker, right? Is that yours or somebody else's? If you prioritize and organize your life according to your highest values, you get to be yourself. And what you do feels like it's the most fulfilling way to live. It's your playground. Now, there's another quote that I also heard from Monica Yon in one of her interviews, and it's worth placing right here in this segment. When you are in alignment with your mission, with your soul, with God, you can achieve amazing things and you can grow exponentially. If you are thinking that you should do something else, or it would be better for you to be in a different way or to act in a different way, then you will start to be not happy about yourself and not aligned with yourself and try to be somebody who you are not. You are misaligning in your ability to manifest drops. A lot of us learn to give up on ourselves in order to please somebody else, to raise to somebody else's expectations, to take care of somebody or not upset somebody. And I think this quote truly exemplifies the choice that we get to make, whether we're living from our inner authenticity or whether we have adopted other external values as our own.